And I think me and you both kind of talked off air as well as like the importance of just, especially for real estate, realtors, so forth right now, as far as having, a kind of a brand or your image out there, if that's the case, wholesalers or whoever it is, you might not have, something directly come from it type of scenario. Like for the podcast example, it's not like I have necessarily things directly come from, a podcast episode or something like that specifically, but it's just the fact that people, it's been awesome to kind of get to really cultivate a lot of cool relationships and people that just from knowing that it's there or seeing bits and pieces of clips or audio things out there before. And so I'm sure that's you are helping out with realtors and other people like that with that side of things too, right?
Yeah, absolutely. So, like you hit the nail on the head there. Like what you would want people to kind of have a result with, that's like direct response marketing, right?
Yeah.
That's you like basically creating an ad or, having like major call to actions or like promoting certain deals and stuff. And there's a difference between that and branding, right?
Sure.
Branding, which is what I'm like focusing in on with some of the realtors that I'm working with right now. It's more about like creating that goodwill, right? Like actually providing value to people, being really honest with yourself when you're making this content. Are people going to be able to take something away from this and use this?
Yeah.
Are people going to learn from this, or is this going to motivate people?
Yeah.
That's the best content that performs right there.
Educational, like exactly things they're giving back.
Absolutely. And like Alex Hormozy.
Yeah.
Yeah, like one of the greats, right? Like he basically created like the talking head reel, essentially.
Right.
And he has a saying, don't quote me on it exactly, but like branding and direct response marketing, it's about like the time on the ROI, right? Like how much time it actually takes to actually get an ROI. On branding is much longer, obviously, because you're not like trying to necessarily sell people on something right there.
Yeah.
But it's bigger because eventually, you gain that reputation, you provide that value to people, reciprocity. People think of you when, when
Grant Cardone's a little bit similar where he wants to provide education,
Absolutely.
but it's like, hey, if you want to, and same with Alex is, Hormozy, for those that don't know, he's more of a guy that the acquisitions.com. So they're buying businesses and so forth, that are up for sale or want to be acquired type of thing, or take it to the next level. But yeah, and he just uses the platform as a way to kind of make his name more known so that those who do find him that way, that want to do that, can. But obviously, that's for the 1% kind of a scenario. But the ROI on that gaining of that 1% is so much higher than trying to kind of market yourself directly, like, let me buy your company, let me buy your company, let me buy your company. Whereas really people then are approaching you in that sense, more so than you having to kind of try to approach them and acquire them as a client or so forth.
Absolutely. Right? Yeah, for sure. Because I mean, like, dude, you could binge his page, right?
Yeah.
And it just provides so much value. There's so much that I've taken away from him and tried to apply it to what I do, right?
Yeah.
Like his whole, you ever read $100 Million Offer?
No, I haven't. It's on my list for sure. Well, I've got a lot of books on my list, but
same.
I'll get around. I've got 3 kids, and so that takes up a lot of my time as well. But that is on my list, and people have been talking about that. Yeah, $100 million offer, is that right?
Yeah, absolutely. It's all about creating like a grand slam offer. Like his whole thing is like, you should create an offer that's so good that people feel stupid for saying, I don't want to go forward with that. So he got his big start off like gym launch. And one of the things he talks about is like a guarantee, right? Like most businesses should have a guarantee. And his was like all focused around how much money he's going to make you, right? So the end product is focused around his performance as well. So it's like, if you own a gym and you want it to increase revenue and stuff, it's almost like a no-brainer to go with like his company on stuff like that. How to implement that into your business.
How do you kind of stay current and innovative in photography, videography, the techniques, the marketing that you're doing and so forth these days?